We're gonna do a few more runs, and then we'll switch to Abbie. Okay. And we're at what number now? 30. 30. So what I have to do, I'm going to pivot to your right. Good. And relax your arms and forward. And keep forward. Tap tap. There we go. Pull to your left, tap, keep forward, tap, tap, tap. Yep, now turn. You got it, good. Let's try this. Try switching your leash to your left hand and remote to your right hand. And go to just relax, please. There you go. Turn to your right, forward, tap. Tap forward, tap forward. Tap forward. Relax the arm. Keep forward, tap. Good. Good turn. Very good turn. Nothing there. Relax that arm. There you go. Go ahead and pick up your pace a little bit. Oh, look at that. That's good. Keep the arm relaxed. Go and slow down. Go and slow turn. Forward, tap. Go to your left, tap, tap. Good. Keep forward. Tap, tap. There you go. A little better. Good. Good. Yep, you're fine there. Keep forward. Right, relax. There you go. We got 3 dogs going there. 4 dogs. Let's give a couple of taps here for Abbie. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Go to 45. Yep, tap. There she goes. Good.
Good girl.
Now go to Stanley. Your right. Tap. There you go. Forward. And what's your number now?
38.
Okay, turn down. Yeah. Right. Give a couple taps for Abbie. There you go. Good. Slow turn. Good turn. Relax your arm. Forward. Relax your arm. Go and slow walk. And stop. Lightly pull up. Oh, you did. Good. And relax. Okay. Very good. So, you seeing something? Squirrels?
I didn't even see a squirrel. I saw people go for her on the bike, but she
We used to be up on the 28th floor of our last place, and she could still see dogs up there.
yeah, she's still
Should
going.
still? Gotcha. Okay. So,
She's not.
like with every client, we're so used to this, right? Because that left arm keeps coming up, right? And you want to be nice and relaxed, okay? So, when we have nice open space like this, we're giving more slack, okay? If you're coming into a context where it's like, I'm walking past a dog, you either step aside and shorten your leash, or if you have to walk past them, you shorten the leash, okay? So you're just in case something happens, you have immediate control, okay? But we want to get used to being nice and relaxed and not having that tension all the time, because you can create tension, okay? Yeah. So what happens is, for a lot of my clients, they get puppies. They're friendly as puppies, or too friendly. They put them on a harness so they don't choke themselves.
Yep.
They put a harness so that the dog doesn't choke, put pressure on their throat and choke themselves. But over time, what happens with that puppy is it wants to greet other dogs and keeps pulling, and it creates frustration because it's feeling this tension against its chest all the time. So then it starts to associate tension with dogs. So it goes from friendly puppy to frustrated puppy to agitated and aggressive. Okay, because it's just constant tension. Every time I see a dog, I feel this, and it pisses them off. So, if we have a dog that has dog reactivity, harnesses are actually the worst thing to put on a dog.
And it's wild well because this is the only thing, the front clip is the only thing I can do to divert her attention.
Right.
So,
Because physically you're diverting her,
yeah.
but it's about the mental
mentally
game.
she's still insane.
Exactly, right?
So.
Exactly. So the reason why the front clip, and the front clip is better than the back clip, because the front clip
pulls.
does this.
The back clip makes them a sleigh dog. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
So when we have a dog that's appropriately trained, technically you can walk them with whatever you want,
Yeah.
up to the point of no leash, right? But it's all about mental control when we do this exercise. So the way we achieve that mental control is by allowing the remote to do all the work. We tend to want to pull the dog physically and lead them physically, then you do all the work, right? So here, we're just adding a little bit of pressure with the leash directionally to guide them into go this direction or put your butt down, right? So that light pulled up in the remoting is what got Stanley to put his butt down.
Yeah.
So you learn, oh, when dad comes to stop, if I do this, nothing happens, right? Everything goes away. So that becomes a solution for him. And then because we want to stop uncomfortable situations, now the dog is motivated to do so without needing verbal direction or too much physical direction. Does that all make sense? Okay. So the more you use the remote, the faster you get over it in the sense of having to use it all the time. People tend to wait for like the last minute. Oh, the dog's lunging and barking. Tap for Abbie. There she goes.
Girl.
Tap again. Tap, tap. What's the number right now?
30.
Let's go to 45 again. There we go.
There we go.
Right. So you see how right away she turned her head
Yeah,
around?
immediately.
Tap again. Yeah, go to keep it at 45 for now until we switch back to Stanley.
Okay.
Tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. There we go. Good.
Good girl.
So her operating number at the moment looks around 45, but that's including a distraction, 100 feet away. So as you get used to this and you start, your dog's better than I do, you'll know, oh, we're going to pass by squirrels. It's already up, right? And you'll learn to recognize those numbers, 60, whatever. Don't get married to a number. It's always about the dog's behavior. Okay, you want to find the number that's going to either deter what you don't want them to do, or motivate them to do what you want them to do. Okay. Once you get a feel for it, I don't even look at the remote anymore. The dog tells me everything. Okay. So I've been talking for about 5 minutes now, and Stanley's been sitting there staring at me. Listen, okay.
He really is.
He's waiting for you to zap him again.
It's for the discipline, because of the discipline, right? This is not permanent. Okay. This is because we've done so much in the moment that he's being extra cautious and going, all right, I'm going to just make sure I look at you and pay attention, because whenever I'm not paying attention to you, things happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what and the reason why we're not saying any words is, one, people tend to rely on words too much. And then when I used to do that in the beginning, I would come back on week 2 and the owner's like, heel, 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 and the dog's pulling them all over the place. I'm like, why are you saying heel if your dog's pulling you? They're like, well, I thought that's what the word was for, so the dog would pull me. I'm like, yeah, we have to teach the dog what to do, and the word is the name of what we're teaching, right? So I've learned I just don't say anything the first week because it forces people to have to use the remote. Okay, and then week 2 is when we start officially incorporating the heel command. Okay. Questions?
No? That's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, let's go back down to that 30.
Yep.
We'll do one more quick run with Mr. Stanley here, and then we'll switch off to Abbie.
It's fine if they go through. It's not a big deal.
Good. Keep walking forward. Keep your arms relaxed. Good. Tap, tap for Stanley. Forward. Keep forward. Tap, tap. Good. Now slow down here. Feet up again. Tap, tap, tap. Hug to the right a little bit. Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, keep on the sidewalk. There you go. And relax. Good. Keep forward. Good. Go ahead and pivot. Good. Forward. Tap, tap. Good. So you see how you rush through your left leg?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. That's good. Go to pick up your pace. Tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Keep straight, tap. Pull in a little. There you go. Good. Now turn. Tap, tap forward. Tap, tap forward. Good. There you go. Relax. Good.
Nice turn.
Relax that left arm. Good. Go and slow down. Stop. Good. Up. Tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And relax. Good. When you're ready, forward. Tap, tap. There he goes. Good. Good. Relax your arm. Go ahead and slow down. Stop. Right, good. I'm going to have you move forward 5 steps. Right, it's okay. That's fine. 3 steps. Yep. Good. And forward. Yep. Good. Careful, there's dog shit right there.
Yay. My favorite.
Speed up a little bit. Tap, tap. Good. All right, good. Relax that arm. Good. Going slow again. Stop. Good. Tap, tap. Good. And relax. Good. Forward. Go and speed up a bit. Good. Now slow walk. Slow turn. And slow to stop. Good. Okay. Do you notice what I'm having them do before every stop and turn?
Slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for the dog.
So you
Okay.
know.
Yes, exactly. So you guys drive?
Yeah.
What do you do before you stop?
Slow down.
What do you do before you turn?
Slow down.
Yeah. To let other drivers know what's going on, right? Like you don't just hit the brakes unless you absolutely have to. But one would expect if I just stop, or there's going to be a collision.
Yeah.
Right? So pumping your brakes lets the driver behind you know, hey, I'm changing speed right? If you're going to make a turn, if you're going fast, just turn, you're going to flip your car. So same thing for the dog. Slowing down, if they're paying attention, allows them to assess something's changing. So then when you come to that stop, or if you come to that turn, if they're paying attention, it should be smooth. Okay? If you slow down, put into a stop or a turn, and Stanley were to keep going, what does that tell you? Yeah, he's not paying attention, right? So, if that happened and you slowed down and you kept going, you wouldn't worry about the speed anymore. You just turn and tap to get him back into position again. Okay? But I could see where he was being mindful. So that's why I said slow, where I said pick it up, then slow turn, and slow to stop. So he would get all those things with you.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a forever thing. That's never going to change. You know, just like for us, like we drive, it's always slow before you stop, always slow before you turn. Okay? So I want you to get used to that. Almost everybody forgets. Okay? There we go. Almost everybody forgets. We're slowing down. So if during this week you're working with them and you find like maybe the walk isn't as good as it was today, almost always the owner's not slowing down. Okay? It's either that or the number is too low. Okay? Questions on you though?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you see how he's panting now?
Yeah.
This is venting stress. Because the e-collar is a stressor, right? The pressure, the contraction and stuff. I like his posture now. You see how he's sitting upright? His mouth is panting, he's letting it go.
Yeah.
He's processing everything, and he's starting to associate or understand the concept of pressure on and how it turns off. Okay, that's why this exercise is so important. A dog's first instinct, typically when they feel the remote, is run away.
He did that, yeah, when I first put on.
When you first put on them? Yeah. So they have no tap tap. Tap tap. Tap tap. There you go. Perfectly normal because they don't know what it is. Right? So their first instinct is like, I don't know what it is, I'm gonna run away from it. Okay? So that's why we use the healing command, because e-collar makes them want to run, which is a moving behavior. So we use a moving command to teach them how it turns on and how it turns off. Or we also condition them, you don't want to run away from this. If anything, you want to run from me. Okay? Questions by any of this? So let's go and we'll swap handlers. We'll do Abbie. And then I bump it. Are you at 30?
Yeah, we're not going to finish like a 45.
It's all 38. And we're going to step on the sidewalk, and you're going to do the exact same thing. Okay? So you're just going to walk. She's going to be on your left. On your left. Correct. Okay? So you're not going to say anything, of course. You're just going to start moving forward, and then I'll coach you through it as well. All right? So go ahead and relax. Forward, tap, tap forward, tap forward. Let's go to 43. Tap forward, tap forward. Go ahead and turn. Tap, tap, tap. Yep, tap. Tap. Let's actually flip her leash to the side of the boat, please. And then let's go to 48.
Where it's like, I need a way to communicate.
And they got a meal prep service too.
If you land on 49.50, it's okay. Just a couple of numbers, yep. Back to, so turn inwards and forward that way. Tap, tap, tap. Tap forward, tap forward. Tap forward. Go to turn. Tap forward. Tap forward. And keep forward, keep forward, keep forward, keep forward. Tap, tap, tap. Keep forward, tap. Keep forward, keep forward, keep forward. Tap. Keep forward, tap. You gotta keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. There you go. Good, relax your arm. Good, good. Slow turn. Forward, tap. Forward, tap. There you go. Keep forward, keep forward, keep forward, keep forward, keep forward. Yep, keep forward. Pick it up a little bit. There you go. That's good, right there. Good. You're at 48, right? 49, let's go 44. Good, forward, tap. There she is, good. Slow turn to your right. Good, forward. Relax. Keep forward. Tap. 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 On to your right. Tap, 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 keep forward, tap, tap, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, tap, tap. There you go, good. Yep, keep moving. Tap forward. Good, slow turn. Good, forward. Tap, tap. Forward, pick up the pace a little bit. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. There she is. Atta girl. Good. Slow. Slow turn. Good. Forward. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. Good. There she is. Now she's opening up. Tap. There she goes. Now slow here. And stop. Okay. Go ahead and lift up. You may have to use your left hand here. Tap, tap, There we go. Take one step back. There we go. Good. All right. So she's having a harder time with it than he is. Okay. So you have 2 insecure dogs. So she was doing more shutdown.
Okay.
Right. She didn't want to move forward. So when you stop, you allow the brain to stay stuck.
Okay.
That's why I said keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Because she's looking to you as a reference point. And she stops and you stop, and it's like who's leading who.
Yeah.
Right? So you keep your movement, and the tension on the leash kicks in, and the tension is telling her, we're going this way. Remote is making her move.
Yeah.
Okay? So the leash pressure is directional, the e-collar is motivation. Okay? So you direct with the leash, you motivate with the remote. Okay? Very kind of timid in the beginning,
Yeah.
but I saw a change where she went from being timid, and she goes, oh, I think I get what's going on here, right? And she started to open up, and that's when her posture changed. Okay, that's earlier when I said with Stanley, e-collar can build confidence. That's what I was talking about. Okay, because the dog says I can't do it,
Yeah.
and I say yes you can. Okay, but you're using the thing that's making her shut down to actually make her move forward. Okay, so it's really counterintuitive for a lot of people to understand how this works. Using a negative thing or a bad thing to build confidence or motivate a dog to do something, right? So there's positive motivators like, hey, I'll pay you more money to do this job, of course,
CRA.
right? But there's also the motivator of, I have rent to pay and I can't be picky about what job I have. Money is money, right?
Yeah.
I'll go to shorten your leash here. He's okay?
Yeah.
Good, Abbie. There you go. Good. Very good. Okay.
You see when she starts shaking?
Yeah.
Like that's how she gets when dogs come around.
It's stress response.
Yeah.
Okay. Shaking is normal, but she's shaking partially because of the remote.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. Because it's a stressor.
Yeah.
Okay. Once they get over this, you're gonna see a different demeanor.
Yeah.
How long that's gonna take, I don't know. Okay. Every dog is different. Okay. So I tell people, don't worry about this part. You have to go through the ugly in order to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So we played with our numbers a bit. We went down to
We're at 44.
44.
Because 49 is when she was like freaking out.
Yeah, a little bit too much, right?
Yeah.
Now, it does just because it wasn't the answer right now,
Yeah.
doesn't mean it won't be the answer in the future.
Sure.
Okay? So I'll have you do another walk back and forth
Do
here.
you want me to go this way or go this way first?
Go ahead and turn it around. So she's on your left. Tap forward, tap forward, tap forward, tap, tap forward. There you go. Hug to the right a little bit. There you are. Good. Good. Slow. Good slow turn. You got it. Keep forward. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Tap forward. Tap forward. There you go. There she is. Keep forward. Keep forward. She got frustrated because she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So right there, so she sat down
Yeah.
as you did step by step,
Okay.
as opposed to you with her. Yeah. Okay. And relax your arm. Good. Go ahead and speed up a little. Good. Run slow. Slow turn, but keep it moving. Good. Pick it up. Tap. Tap. Good. There she is. How old is Abbie again?
9.
She's like, I went 9 years. Now I gotta do this step. Yeah, there she goes. Good. Tap, tap. There she goes. That a girl. You got bites? Good. Slow. Slow turn. Forward. Good. Nothing here. Keep it moving. She turned right with you. Okay. Now slow. And stop. Light pull up. Let There she goes. Good. And relax.
Oh, good girl, sweetie.
Good, right? So she's got a bit of anxiety here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what all this is, right? Okay. The panting is venting stress, but she's also anxious and stressed about the contact.
Yeah.
But she's figuring it out. Okay. So
She's also on 30 milligrams of Prozac, and it's like nothing helps. So
sure. Nothing like discipline.
yeah.
Okay. Is this making sense so far?
Yes.
Like how this works and how it turns on and how it turns off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that like I'm not doing anything that's gonna not set her up for success. Does that make sense?
Don't think that way. You gotta think a little bit differently. Okay. But that's the most common thing I come up, and a lot of trainers talk about that. Set the dog up to succeed, but life doesn't do that for you.
Sure.
Right? A lot of my clients live in apartment buildings where their dog fails every day because of the elevator.
Yeah.
There's no way to set up to succeed then, right? So what I think about is I set the owner up to succeed. If the owner succeeds, the dog will succeed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a little bit of a different approach. There are certain times when yes, we want the dog to succeed and we do something to help address that or set that up.
Yeah.
But when it comes to stuff like this, it's setting up the owner with all the tools and letting them, educating them, making sure they know how to do everything appropriately correct. Okay. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. Don't try to be perfect. Okay. I make mistakes all the time. The only difference is I know what it looks like at the end. You guys are at the beginning without a view of what the end looks like, right?
Yeah.
So like, and these aren't you guys, but for example, a lot of people when they see this stuff, they're like, I can't do this, Jesse. Look at the dog. I'm like, but if you're trying to get over this, you have to go through this. I've seen this, thousands of times. Dogs get through it. You just have to keep it up, right?
Yeah.
So, we're gonna do a bit more of the back and forth. What I'm gonna have you do is move a bit more assertively. Okay. Now I know this is a lot to think about. You gotta think about the dog, you gotta think about the remote, you gotta think about your leash, you gotta think about your body language, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but as you get more comfortable, all that will start to come naturally. But I'm gonna have you move at a more so normal pace.
Okay.
I do remember to slow down, right? When you're making those turns. But those turns, you're just wanting them, I slow down, but it's a pretty fluid motion of slowing down and then turning and then we're moving again, okay? Because for her, on that one you did here, it was very, she got stuck and so it was like, what are we doing here? And then that's why because she was frustrated, because like, I don't know what to do. But if she sees you moving, and it's a fairly assertive, like, hey, we're walking, oh, that's what we're doing, and she's gonna catch up, okay? Whenever you're ready.
It's about 30-minute increments on
Gotcha.
camera.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We'll try to figure out what's going on with the other one. Good. Slow down to slow turn.
I mean, I got like 5 hours on this thing. Awesome. I got extra batteries on my pocket.
Slow to stop when you're ready. So here, go ahead and turn. Forward, tap. Forward, tap. Turn again. Tap forward, tap forward. Back on the sidewalk. Good. Relax. Yep. Good. And slow to stop. You're good. You got distracted.
Yeah.
Right? There you go. What's up? Oh. So, that was frustration. Okay. So, I said, come to a stop. People are coming. So you said, I'm going to stop to the side, right?
Yeah.
But then she goes, oh, grass. And we were expecting to create this.
Yeah.
Grass, leaves, dirt, sidewalk, I don't care. She's still under command, right?
Okay.
So if you're going to do something, and like let's say you're going to come to a stop, but then she keeps going, always default to, I need to correct her.
Turning again.
Okay? Because it's very common for a lot of my clients to think, oh, I'm going to stop at this red light. They slow down, and then the dog keeps going. They stop and they just pull the dog back because they were going to stop anyway. Okay? And I go, yeah, but the dog's supposed to stop with you.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not helping yourself obedience-wise. You can actually untrain your dog. Right? So this is like when you came here and you slow down and you stop and she's right there right next to you, that was perfect. That's how it's supposed to look. Okay? This exercise is not complicated. All my dogs are trained this way, and all my dogs are officers trained. You see why we train here? All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So the theory is if you can do it here, working at home, it's going to be a problem. So we're going to do a few more, and then we'll talk a bit and kind of review how we're going to apply this, what to do when we see dogs, which you already got an idea of it. And then, whenever you're ready, forward. Bike's behind you. Slow to slow turn. Good, forward, good. Go and speed up a little bit. Very good, now slow. Good, speed up again. Good, slow. Slow turn. Right, there you go. And slow to stop. So here, she stops back a bit. Take a step forward, tap. Tap forward, tap forward, tap forward. There we go. And then slow to stop again. That one, this is okay.
Yeah.
That one I had you move forward because she was like 3 feet away.
I know, yeah.
Right, the other one she was...
The second I tapped, she like moved.
Yes. So the other one that I said step back was because she was just a foot away.
Okay.
And then we had just started.
Yeah.
But now she's got a pretty good concept, right?
Sure.
Now, do you see how she's hovering over to the right side? Do you know why that is?
No.
Because you keep making right turns. So she's thinking, if you're going to turn again, I'm going to see it immediately. Okay? So it's a problem, but it's a good problem.
Okay.
It means she's paying attention.
Okay.
But we do want to correct this. Okay? So what we're going to do is when you come to a stop now, I want you to pay attention to that. If you come to a stop and you start to see Abbie coming over, you're going to walk forward with your right leg and you're going to bump right through her.
So
Okay?
she can't pass.
Right. But you're going to continue your movement. Okay? You're not going to just shove her aside. You're going to boom and you're going to keep walking and then come to a stop. Okay? Now when you bump through her, it has to have meaning. There has to be an ump to it. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not like a nudge or
She
a...
has to like know.
Yeah, exactly. So what she ends up learning is if I overshoot it and I'll just say if I overshoot it and cross over mom, I'm gonna get a leg to the face.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're not trying to kick her, but you're trying to go boom, right? And keep your movements where she's whoa. I don't want to overshoot it because this happens. Okay? So I have you go and start walking forward and you can just move
And
around.
I should do that or just go.
For now, just go around. It's when you're coming to a stop, right?
Okay.
So when you come to a stop, if Abbie keeps coming like this, to stop here, then you go boom,
Okay.
and then you move forward.
Yeah.
Okay?
But here.
Yeah. Tap forward, good. Pull to your left, tap, good. And a girl, good. Forward tap, tap. Good. Slow turn. Good turn. Forward, good. Go and speed up. Nice. Now slow. Stop. Good. You're gonna take 5 steps. Right there, forward with the right leg bump. Almost. You see how you scooted around her?
I don't know why right and left is so hard sometimes.
Yeah, no, once I start telling people to do things specifically, it gets a little bit more confusing. Good, relax your arms. There you go. Slow turn.
You good?
Good. Good. Slow stop. Good. So, this is okay. Because she's not, you can see her, it's still doing the same thing, right? Because she's not in the way.
Okay.
Okay. So, go ahead and take one step to your left.
There's also a retriever right behind you.
Oh, you want to step aside?
First time she's not even paying attention.
And then when you step aside here, you're going to shorten your leash as well. Okay, go ahead and stand next to her. There you go. Facing this way. Good. Okay, yeah. Good. That's right. So when we have dogs approaching, I don't want you to body block anymore. Okay? You want to be facing the same direction as the stimulus. Okay? Because then you don't, like if you're in front of her, like some people will be just like, oh, and they'll come around you with their dog. Right? Exactly. So when you step aside, what you're doing is you're saying, here's the dog. What are you going to do? And I'm going to disagree with some things from the remote. Okay? It also allows you to assess the situation. You might come across someone who goes, oh, you stepped aside so my dog can say hi. Right? If you don't want to be a jerk about it, you can say, no, we're training. I actually just had a client earlier today had that happen, and the person was like, oh, my dog's friendly. And I'm like, no, you're not going to hurt at that point. Okay?
She'll bite that.
Oh, that she'll bite? Okay.
Not the
The
dog.
dog.
It happened once when we turned the corner and we didn't see the other dog.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, they're not dog friendly.
Right.
Period.
So, like, let's say the corner thing.
Yeah.
Right. One thing I want you guys to program yourselves to do.
This is like 5 years ago.
Okay. Is always pull straight up. Never back, never up and back, straight up. Back and up and back escalates, creates more aggression. Up de-escalates. Okay? So if you ever see a dog,
Person's like this.
yeah. But if you ever see me with the dog and the dog escalates, you'll always see me pulling the dog up. Okay? And even to the point where I lift the front paws off because that's how they direct their body.
Yeah.
So if the dog is here and I'm up here, I can prevent a bite from happening there, potentially. While I kick the dog back and get to retreat away. Okay, but always up, especially with the remote.
Yeah.
So like let's say you step aside, right? And maybe this dog is higher energy, puppy or whatever, right? Or reactive too.
Yeah.
Now, like this was easier because it's just dogs walking by. But with more energy, it might be harder for her. So you step aside, you shorten your leash. The reason for shortening the leash is just in case there's a moment she's not going to get far. So earlier we had it slack because we're training and we're watching out for you, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay,
In the real world.
in the real world, we're going to shorten it when we step aside just in case. So if she does lunge, she's not going to get anywhere, right? Also, if you pull up, if it's short, you're going to get immediate contact. When you have a slack leash, you're all the way up here, right? So when you pull up, you would also tap the escalator. If you feel like she's getting more aggressive, it's not working, stop. Okay, because I'm gonna have to like coach you through it and give you directions. You won't make her worse. Okay, it's just that you're more so pissing her off, and that's not helping the situation. Okay, so what can happen is if you're too low on the collar, you're annoying the dog. That's it. Right? You're just like, and the dog's like, oh. Yeah, and then if you're too high, it can be such a harsh correction. The dog panics and they don't really retain the lesson. So it's always trying to find that working level that allows her to associate for the situation. Oh, being reactive is not what's wanted right now. I should cut it out. But it's more so being processed and something they retain as opposed to slamming like just type of behavior. Okay? Because that's most people's approach when they deal with aggression or reactivity, aggressive type responses, is they think we come in and we just slam them. Okay? You gotta watch this dog with someone's off leash earlier. So I'm not sure if you're ready off leash. Questions about any of that stuff?
No, it makes sense.
Okay. Ready? Yep. Yep, yep. Good. When you do these corrections, Tim. Yep. So what you're telling her here is, don't look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care where you look, but don't look at that. Okay. We don't need words here. Okay. Good job. As humans, people want to say like no, stop, or whatever, right? What ends up happening is you end up creating acute behavior. Okay, the way a dog's brain works is if they're jumping on you and you say off, and then you correct them, technically they can jump on you until you say off. Okay? If I just correct them with no warning, then they learn as soon as I put my paws on Jessie, this happens, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's a step. Exactly. So what you're teaching her here is, yes, we know there's dogs in there, but don't worry about it. Okay? And what you'll start to see is when you see dogs, she will naturally avoid and not look at them herself. Okay?
Yeah, I saw your video. That was nice.
So, and it's not going to make her not like dogs. She already doesn't like dogs.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just you're avoiding conflict. So we have 4 responses here. We have fight, flight, avoidance, submission. Okay? Reactivity or that tension, anything that's kind of confrontational is categorized as fight response. Okay? We're saying we don't want that. So that leaves flight, avoidance, and submission. Well, she's not going to run away because she's tethered to us, right? So there's avoidance or there's submission. Correct? Good. So avoidance would be, I see a dog coming, I'm going to pretend it's not there. And she's looking away. We're fine with that, okay? Over time, it's possible that it'll progress to, oh, there's dogs passing, I don't even care about them anymore, right? That would be submission or acceptance. But in the beginning, whenever we deal with any kind of aggression, it's always avoidance response that we want to create, okay? Avoidance is created through caution, which is why that number is so important, right? That we find that working number, correct, good. Because that's what's giving you this immediate response. If you were on 5, you'd be like, and nothing would be happening, okay? So, people want to ease their dog and like teach their dog and all that stuff, you know, the positivity and treats and all that, but it's not realistic. Okay? Dogs are physical creatures; they bite each other, which is why remote collar is so effective because it's physical. It's something that they relate to. They just need to understand how it works because they're not meant to have their muscles contracted. This is human technology created for dogs, right? But if we teach it correctly, they will learn to perceive it as like, oh, that's kind of like me biting. Me being bitten by Stanley or another dog, that's form of correction. Okay, physicality is healthy in their world. It's the energy that's not good. Screaming, yelling, overly physical, being aggressive, stuff like that. This allows you to be very direct, very firm, but without any of that. And we remove the frustration because now it's like, oh crap, all I do is press a button and she stops, right? So the next thing would be, how often are we having it correct? So you're at what number? 44, right? Okay. So at 44, you probably tapped her at least 15 times in the past like 10 minutes. Okay? It's nothing good or bad, yep. Right, good. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Good, relax. Good. Right. So right there, she explodes. So, when I mentioned earlier, you tapped about 15 times on 44, but she keeps looking. It's enough to stop the behavior, but it's not enough to dissuade it from repeating. Then we play with numbers. Okay, so then maybe I go to 48. So here, even though you suppressed her in that moment because that dog was a little bit closer, and once it hit this threshold, she decides, I'm going to escalate. It could have potentially been because of remote. It could have been because the dog was in this window. Okay. If it was the remote, because you'll read in the booklet, I think even in the booklet for this model, or online, you'll see people that'll write about e-collar makes dogs aggressive. Okay? If you use it incorrectly, 1, yes. 2, in this moment, she was already too fixated that if it was the remote, it unlocked what she was thinking.
Yeah.
But that's because she just hasn't learned that remote means cut the crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I create an explosion, most people stop and go, crap, I made it worse. I go, no, I'm going to use this to get her to cut it out, please. It's fine. It's okay. And then I play with the number. Like, I'm going to make the dog stop. They're going to learn that this does not mean go. It means go. Right? So if you come across that, don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're making it worse. If you're unsure, like I said, just up and away, and then lay off the pressure. I would recommend that you get flat buckle collars. Okay, like this, like a belt buckle. Okay, because these I can already see his was stretched out a bit, and when he was pulling back, there was a big gap that could potentially slip over. Right. Same thing for hers. It's normal for these type collars.
We've always just used them as decorative. Like
Right, because you've used the harness. Yeah.
So
So I would, you'll need nothing fancy, because you don't want to put the leash to the e-collar because it'll affect the connection.
Yeah.
Okay. So flat buckle collars. I would get rid of the harnesses. It's not going to help you in terms of their behavior. It's going to make things worse, and it's counter to what the remote is trying to teach them. Okay. What neighborhood are you guys from?
we're in like Boys Town.
Okay, so a little bit. In my opinion, and I suggest that when you take them out, always collar it up. Okay. I've had plenty of people just run their dog out.
You mean pee home?
Correct.
Yeah.
Run out for a quick potty break, thinking like, oh, it's going to be a quick pee in and out, right? And then a parade of dogs comes by in that 1 minute time frame, and they're like, oh.
Every morning we think nobody's outside. And then
Yeah. So I would err on the side of caution and just always have them collared up.
Yeah.
When it comes to the leash walking stuff and giving them time to potty, let's say you come out, you start with your potty break, let them do their biz. You're going to start walking, and the moment you walk and you tap, they're here, and then everything that you've done today kicks into effect. So technically, if you come out and you don't do anything, they're loose.
Yeah.
You push them.
Yeah, I did on that note. Because, like, obviously, if they're next to
Where
us,
is Mom
they're
gonna
not
take
like
this?
great to use the restroom. So what you're saying is maybe let them do their business first and then kick this into gear?
Correct. Okay, now let's say you walk from home to here.
Yeah.
They're doing well. You stop. I say the word break. Break means you're done. Keep moving all around. Smoke a cigarette. I don't care. You're on your own time. Okay? Then once you're ready, 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, you start walking. Tap, tap. Back here again. Now they're working. Okay? Get back to home. You decide, hey, we're going to do one more potty break. You would stop, break, let them finish their business. Inside we go. Okay? So break is the on and is the off switch. Okay. Next week we'll be saying the word heel. That would be your on switch. But again, I want you to rely on the remote and not become so word focused that you'll use this a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions about any of this stuff so far? So we covered.
No.
I was gonna say practicing length of time.
Yeah.
Dogs learn better in smaller chunks. Now, it's going to be difficult for you guys because you have 2 dogs, so you have to do one then the other. So if you could each do 2 15-minute sessions apiece, that would be great. Or you could do, I'm trying to think how to divide this up. Or even 10 minutes, like a couple times a day. Dogs learn better in smaller chunks. But if all you have is a solid hour, and you work with her and then he works with Stanley later on, that's fine. It'll just take a little bit longer for them to process everything. Okay. There's no such thing as too much when it comes to this exercise because it's not redundant. If Stanley or Abbie is doing great and they're at your hip and you're just walking, just keep going straight. There's no need to turn. You're only turning when they're getting ahead. Turn, tap, tap, back here again, right? If you're trying to get from point A to point B, you would turn, to go back in the opposite direction. Does that make sense? Your number in the neighborhood might be different because it's their territory. There's a little bit more comfort, right? So before you start training, find that working number first. Don't assume 45 worked yesterday, so 45 is going to work today. Always reset. Eventually, you'll come to a resting range where it's like 35 to 55 or whatever for each dog. And you'll come to recognize, once you start that walk and you give that first tap, you'll learn to recognize their behavior and know, oh, I'm at the right number, or oh, I just need to bump it 6 levels or whatever. So like for me, when I see the dog respond, I can tell by looking like how much to jump it. For you guys, when you're finding that working number, I would start at 15 and jump in increments of 5. Okay? So you would do tap, 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 no response, bump at 5, 20. Tap, 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 25. Tap, 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 30. Tap, 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 35. Tap, boom. Ah, there's the number. Then start your walk.
It's mostly just like they've acknowledged, but when the number hits is when they like back up and sit.
Yeah, like you'll see a sit, you'll see them like a really just kind of big, whoa, what was that? And that lets you know there's concern. Now I can reinforce things, okay? When you're at the appropriate number, the corrections should be minimal. So they already have a concept of what heel is, the exercise itself.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of what's the what number is going to make it applicable to the setting that you're in. So like if you went to a forest preserve that maybe they've been to before, they know what it is, right? Their number could be like 85 because they're like, oh, I know what this is, and they're super hyped up, exactly. And you're going, nope, not today. But in the beginning, it might be 85, but then as you work with them, it might dip because now you're creating more focus and association that you're not going to need to power. Okay? Your training is only as good as the environment you practice in, which is why, again, I love Oz Park. It's so busy. But if all you do is practice in a quiet environment with no dogs and stuff, well, then you're only going to be good in a quiet environment with no dogs. Okay? If you feel confident enough, I do suggest you start pressing things. Dogs do know when you're avoiding something and when you're confronting something, right? So instead of like, oh, here's a dog coming, let me cross the street, now it's, do I have space to step aside, right? So if these were like the houses on the sidewalk of the street, I see a dog approaching, tap for the sit, shorten the leash, and watch your dog, okay? So through my peripheral range, I'm watching this, but I'm watching Abbie, okay? Because she's your responsibility. If you see something like someone approaching with their dog, oh, you know, she'll bite or we're training, whatever. And then you're reinforcing, just like you are here, all these rules, okay? If you try to, let's say she becomes reactive, just like right now, right? And she did stop, but it took quite a few taps, right? Because we weren't at the appropriate number. But if I look at my remote like, man, that was bad. Okay, 45 didn't work. Then the next time I see a dog, 50-55. I'm going to step aside to have it a little bit higher. Okay, so now you can start making advances. Because if you always start at 45, you're never going to get anywhere in terms of bumping.
It's going to be the same as like just the little fly bothering them.
Exactly. So I'm being preemptive. I'm being a step ahead. I'm going, all right, I'm going to bump this before there's even the explosion. So we're building, and let's say 55 doesn't work. Okay, the next time I see the dog, I'm going to be at 65, right? And you keep escalating until finally you find that weakness, and maybe it's 90, and you go, oh crap. And you cut it out right away. Now you know, okay, the number's 90. Okay? Questions?
So you mentioned, yes, putting them on to go outside. In the house, should we be keeping these on throughout the day and taking them off at night? Or like what are...
Is there anything in the house we need to correct?
I mean, the two of them, but I think we probably are just going to keep them separated.
Yeah, keep them separate for now until we go over how we're going to integrate.
Yeah. In the house, like barking. But...
Sure. That we can cover with the Zoom as well. It's an easy thing. I'll actually send you an email. If you could send me an email saying, hey, Jesse, please send me the barking videos, and I'll send them to you to watch, and you can start applying it right off the bat. But we're just having them separate until we have that soon.
Yeah.
Okay? Other questions?
This is kind of what I expected, but she would be worse than him. So.
Sure. And she's not, I mean, I know you've seen worse.
Yeah.
From what I've seen so far in her reactivity and stuff, like this is not...
That golden passing, it's usually that times like 40.
Oh.
Every dog passes.
Yeah. So good.
So this is already.
Yeah. It's all about, you know, consequences are meant to stop things, or not consequences, but like aversives
Yeah.
are meant to stop things that we don't want. You know, so like I was raised old school, I was spanked.
Yeah.
So if I didn't do my homework, if I talk back to my mom or whatever, spank, all that stuff. So, for dogs, if a dog tries to mount them, if a dog barks at them, if a dog tries to take food, it's bite. It's one consequence for a multitude of behaviors.
Yeah.
Okay? So same thing for dogs. They're not like children. We can time out them and then hope like they'll think and go over, feel guilty.
Creative and make them feel bad.
Yeah, they have no idea what's going on. Okay, they're just like, all right, I'm in the crate now.
Yeah.
So this is why I do remote collars for all my cases. Is because it's easy, it's effective.
Yeah.
It's very simple to pick up on. I didn't have to touch the dogs at all. You guys got the same results as if I would have trained them and then handed them off to you. Okay. So again, homework for this week: smaller chunks if you can for each of them.
Okay.
Collars. I wouldn't worry about the barking. Keep them separate. Continue with the muzzle conditioning. Do call Dogtra on Monday, and then if you look on the back of your remote, it should say in the front there, it says Dogtra, right? And you'll want to tell them you have a Dogtra 2-dog system Super X. Okay, make sure you say 2-dog system, because I had someone screw up, and then they said they had a Dogtra, and they sent them a single one. Okay, and hopefully they have still some in stock.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you may be able to find some on some sites, and then I would ask Dogtra if we ask them if we can find this remote, a solo one.
Yeah.
Can we pair it ourselves, or can we send it to you?
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, oh yeah, you can pair it yourself. Like, here's instructions, or they'll say, buy it, send it to us, and we'll adjust it to you, for you. Okay. That's pretty much it. Okay.
Thank you.